welcome back to another Minecraft VOD showcase. Today we're going to continue our adventure on Feed the Beast Sky Factory 3. In the last one, we managed to make our first death, but other than that, we made some pretty good progress around the base. Got massive stone platform everywhere. And they started doing automatic stuff, started making a grass pen, which hopefully spawns some animals soon. And I also have a whole bunch of extra stuff that I gotta get through. Today's gonna be more of a today we're gonna do a little bit of progression work, because right now, other than this chest, everything is just a mixed bundle of stuff, which is not exactly the brightness. Sheep! We have sheep! We have sheep! We have sheep! Oh, we have animals! Okay. Alright. So sheep. Alright, all plans are thrown out right now. I'm gonna get those sheep out of there. Because I kind of want some other animals as well. And it says, in the book it said to capture a cow in a jar. So I wonder if I can also capture a sheep in a jar. Hopefully it's not... I need milk to make a milk jar to get a cow in a jar. Alright. Oh yeah, nesting pen, so I make resource collection for chickens. But right now, got sheep, so let's go ahead and set that up for as much success as we can, then we'll worry about this. Alright, so let's see how much. Alright, got a lot of birch, which is nice. Actually, I think I do have some just regular quartz somewhere. Pretty sure, let me look. Yeah, I got some regular quartz, so I can make an automatic sheep or automatic wool farm out of these guys. All I gotta do is just put them in a spot that will actually work. But to do that, I need either silk touch or more grass seeds. And to do that, I need to get some cobblestone, some gravel. Without it burning. I don't know how much of this I'm going to need, but I'll just get 8 right now. And I'm pretty sure the grass seeds, let's see, are from dirt. And I think it's better to use a flint than it is to use string, but I'm going to use string. Alright. Let's see, can we get some good stuff from this? Oh wait, it has to be dirt. What am I doing? That's on me. This is on me. Oh, got a little bit of stuff, I guess. Alright. Now to actually do what I need to do, I don't want to do sugarcane, because that I can also make automatic. Alright. Do I have any plant stuff left, or am I going to have to get a whole new set? A little bit of plant stuff there, a little bit here. A little bit there. But not much. Looks like I'm going to have to go ahead and break some more stuff in order for this to work. Oh well. Saplings. Let's go ahead and grab all this now. So that way we can get some more trees eventually growing. And especially since right now those sheep are just taking up the animal cap. I want to get those sheep out of there so that way I can get some other animals populating. They're in a fenced off area, so they're not going to despawn anytime soon. Or fall off the map. But it's still something I gotta consider. I also don't have any wheat, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and make that as well. A little wheat farm, so that way I can get some wheat to lure the sheep. Alright, there we go, there's all that placed. 2 more sugarcane. Alright. Now, while those are growing, I want to get a little bit more built on that, so that way I can actually place the sheep down. Redstone. No, actually, I'm actually gonna need more redstone than this, so. Let's go ahead and break this apart. Just gonna get 9, because hopefully I only need to do this one single time. I need dust. So I gotta compress this down, grab this hammer. Grab this, go over here and... Alright, I got one more piece of redstone. That's fine. I don't think I'm going to be needing too much. Alright. I do know that I'm going to need an observer. I don't think that's going to work, so... Am I going to have to make more iron? I might have to make more iron. Alright, well... That's fine, it won't take long. Oh, I have a lot more quartz. I have 14 of it. Dang. Alright, well, at least right now I can just make the bow piece for the dispenser that I need. Because this won't work on this version. I need to have a full durability bow. No, the sticks, that's fine. But I can redo that. Yeah, this should just be like a regular thing, in my opinion, in base Minecraft. So, oh, whoops, there we go. And bow there, this here. Because, yeah, if I take this out and put this in, it's a failed recipe. But if I do this, it works. Actually, I don't think I even need iron for this piece. I think... Alright. Observe. Oh, there is no observer. And the only observer available costs an eye of ender. Okay, well, that's not gonna work. Oh, well. Yeah, it's cheap storage. It's not really cheap, but, oh. Oh, hey! I got some other animals in there. I didn't think any more would be able to spawn. Got 2 little horses, which some very thin legs. And I got 2 chickens and 3 sheep now. But no cow. Hoping a cow spawns soon because can't exactly do any of the other recipes I'm going to be needing later without them. Especially since it's kind of a required piece now. Alright. Now, worms are able to actually do their own kind of fertilizing thing, so what I can do... How much... 13 is required. Okay, so this is not even 3 pieces, so... Still seems like... Fast thing to do is these. But I think I could still make an automatic sugarcane farm. Actually, I might be able to still make an automatic sheep farm. It's just gonna be a little expensive, but I think I can still do it. And it's gonna involve redstone clocks, which obviously is not gonna be cheap by any means, but it's better than nothing. Let me just go ahead and get some of this going. And you go up to... I might also be able to make this a little bit better, so that way I'm not losing gravel every time, or nearly every time. Okay. 3 of those. Do. Turn into this. I'm gonna see if I can make a redstone clock. For at least something. Right. Your uses. Burn time 12,000. How much is coal? 1,600. Alright, so then if this burns 8, then that means that every 200 is 16,000 divided by 200 is 120 divided by... Okay, so 9 of these can smelt 80 blocks. That is a lot. This little bit of redstone. Do I have a single slime ball, so I can I will have enough to make this more automatic. That's cool. And I also do need this to get iron, because I do need a little bit of iron as well. Oh, we have over a stack of lapis, which can be used for a lot of things, including a chance cube, which can get me some stuff. But I want to build an area for that, because that might do something crazy, because of the fact that chance cube will give you can give you anything. It has a chance to give you anything and everything. Hell, I could spawn in, all of a sudden I'm fighting a wither, and I really don't want to be fighting a wither when my armor looks like this, and my best weapon is something with Unbreaking 1. Good damage, but not trustworthy. I feel like I a piece of gravel shot somewhere, but oh, we'll get to there. Over here, craft it down, and then sift it into hopefully iron. Oh, alright. So quartz does not really help me now. I still need 2 more bits of iron, so another 9 should do. 6, 7, 8, and finally 9. Go. And no iron. Alright. And I also have this, which was a nice drop to get. Ooh. These guys are ready. Ooh. It looks like a common loot bag. And I guess the lead is useful. No, I don't have to craft anything when it comes to that. More silicon, but the lead is definitely nice. This is definitely a nice item to have. What is that item? Chicken manure. What on earth could I use this for? Fertilize dirt. Some of it can make to a dirt. Fertilizer mixture. Liquid fertilizer bucket. That feels a little bit strange. It says bone meal for plants. Oh. I did not realize this was bone meal. Gives trees a random bone meal effect. Oh! So this is actually useful to collect. Although, I gave a random bone meal effect too, so. I don't want to spawn any more chickens. I want there to be a chance at other stuff as well before I fill the mob cap entirely. And honestly, I don't think horses are going to be too useful here, so. Especially when everything is within 5 sprint jumps from here. At least. Actually, let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 sprint jumps from this starting spot. So everything is really close together, so I don't think I'm going to be really needing it. I'm actually going to grind this up real quick. Units are up really high, then just dig straight down. Don't try this on your regular world, kids. Don't dig straight down. I am a professional and licensed idiot, so I know what I'm doing. Let's get up high. And dig. Now with that. Oh, well, I just made sand. Oh well. Goodbye, sand. Here we go. Now I'm gonna have a lot of gravel when I get to the bottom, and hopefully this will make a good amount of iron bits. And this is kind of what I'm hoping I can do with the cobblestone generator over there. Just make it so I can like stand still and just mine straight and not have to worry about losing any of the blocks. Instead of having like an 85% return rate, have a 100% return rate. And I'll just grind this one up by itself in a string fish. It's not gonna give me. Oh, that gave me a single piece of iron. That's cool. Whoa, I can right click to recollect everything. That's cool. I don't know if that's base game or not, but still, that's pretty cool that I can do that. Alright, 2 iron, because I do need 2 iron. There is another manure over here. Iron. Alright. I just now need some basic cobblestone, which let me take it from here. And I need some wood, which is in here. Alright. Take it down. There. This. 2 redstone. Just like that. Go. And take 1 there, put there, take that, put there, grab that. There's a torch. Alright. Yeah. I also want to build this thing pretty far out that way, so. Maybe instead of building it that way, maybe I'll build it this way and have the sifting stuff over here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Alright. So, I need to build it 12 blocks away, so I'm gonna start 12 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it'll be at least this far away. Alright. I do need to get to the underside. Right here's the middle block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah. And then bah. And I'm out of blocks again. Alright. Some more cobblestone. Run over here. More slabs. Very careful about how I do this. Alright, so here's the edge of that, and then 1, 2, 3. And down there is where that initial death took place, and found out the gravestone mod exists, and I can actually be saved. Alright. Do this. I'm gonna go back up, break one of the blocks, and place the torch. Alright, now I need the cobblestone generation to happen on this block. So that means that I need water to be there and cascade down this way. Come back up here. So now that way I can actually fix this. This hole, let me dig out, grab the water, and go right back up. So in that way, go ahead and place the water down over here. Now, that torch will remain safe. And I need lava to go here. This and bring it over here. Alright. I am not building with that. It's just a bad idea. Okay. Do that there. So that will fire. So that has to fire first. And then that one will fire. Okay. Now I gotta... One, I need more redstone because this is not gonna be enough. But if the redstone is coming from here, so I can break this one, and this should light up. Perfect. Okay. Will it go up like this? It will, but it will not trigger this one. That's good to know. Okay. Alright. So then I need to get more gravel. Which I just now realized is going to be a little hard to do. But thankfully, I still have generated cobblestone. Alright. Let's go ahead and break this. Craft it. And recraft it again. Put that out. Replace it with the diamond one. And sift it. Now, a little bit more redstone. Alright. I have a lot of golden pieces too. That's really nice. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly quickly clear this out again. There we go. Got a new loot bag too. That's nice. I'll hang this up to dry. And what's in here? Black quartz axe, more dark oak saplings, and raw salmon. I'm gonna very quickly cook up. I wonder if this is faster. It is not. Alright. What are your uses? I can make the black quartz AOT, but this is obviously better because of the insane durability that it has. Unless if that other one is much faster. Gotta hang up a lot of bone meal, or not bone meal, rotten flesh. Throw that in there. Alright. Now that I have, 4 redstone, I am going to need 2 repeaters. Which also means that I need more redstone. I gotta go through all these to get it. And break them back down. Compressed dust. Oh, there's 1. Can I get more? 2. 5. Alright, 6. I can do a lot with 6. Hopefully, I can do a lot with 6. Alright, 2 repeaters, 4 redstone. I hope this is enough. That, so now I can go around. This. Nope, not enough. Alright, switch this. There we go. Alright. And it's going to take some fine tuning to make that work as well. Effectively. There. Let's see. So I still need a few more. I'll go ahead and grab another 3 compressed out of there. Because this is just faster. If I'm like doing some off-camera stuff, I'll use the diamond one, but when I'm streaming with and have people that might be watching, I'll use the faster one, so now I can get through it faster. Alright. Just need a little bit more redstone. There's 1. I got 2. Let's see. Well, I don't think 2 is going to be enough, but Oh, it's close. Actually. Might be able. And that hopefully does not break the system. Let's see. So now it's all the way out to here. Broke the system. Alright. Alright, why did it break? That's on. This is off, so that should try to put. Oh, but if it's being pushed. So to start the system up, I have to go back and break that block. And run back here. And I can break. And it won't. Okay. And when it does that, it just breaks. But this won't try to push down now. And since this is full, this can't push. So if I want to restart it, I gotta break all the blocks in the line. Including this one. And then this will restart the system. Okay. Well, I'm glad I have that built. Now I have an actual, like, automated system. Alright, and since water flows 8 blocks, and I'm going to be standing here, so I want the water to stop here. So this is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Perfect. Alright. So now I'm going to go over here, put this in here for now. This. Because unlike, you know, other blocks, this will take ages to break with the hammer. And we're far away from the lava, and it's completely covered, so I can do this. I do have to worry about that block, though, but that's fine. Just go over here, dump, come back. That, this. That. And there we go. Well, I'm actually really happy that I got this working. So now when I'm offline, I can just go, or when I'm doing other stuff. Go over here, get pushed like this, look this way, and just break. And I'll get every single block. Oh, almost all, but that can easily fix. By doing this onto both sides. Pushing this back. And there we go. A sort of automated grapple system. And this chest, even when this gets pushed all the way out, oh, it actually stops right there. So this is still completely accessible too. Cool. Alright. Now that I got that thing out of the way, which, to be honest, that wasn't really a necessity thing. That was just something to make my life a little easier. Especially when it comes to using this. And other tools I wish to use in the future. Now I'm going to break all this away. So now I can move all of the sifting stuff over here. 10, 97, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That. I'm gonna go grab that bucket of lava from earlier. Place that down so now I can still have the crucible ready whenever I need it. Round it back. Place that there. Grab the barrel. Place that there. I have exactly 4 slabs, so I can actually... I can do this. And that's why I have this down here. Oh, sounds like I got a lot of mobs ready. Oh, 2 more bows? Oh. I'm about to have a full durability bow. Let's go. Alright. Oh, a lot of food. Let's go. That's so nice. It won't last for long, but this food's good. I want to save the fish for bad occasions. This is my emergency fish. And it's still completely accessible for me to get back there, because all I have to do is just go forward. I'm about to add some, like a dispenser and a lever over there, or a button, to make that easier. Here's why I want to be all the way back here, so that way I can go this. I get back here, it's all ready. Yeah, that's dispenser and oh. Alright. dump all this in here. Funny, this started because of that. This started because of the fact that I have animals over here. That's funny. Alright, horses are completely grown up now, but I don't think I'm gonna be needing it. That does mean that I'm going to need a lot of gravel. Pretty sure I just put all the gravel I had either in here or elsewhere. Stack them 4. So that's 68, 9, 71, and 2. Okay, that still lights on fire. Okay. Get that out of there. Actually, there's chests. Is there chest upgrades I could do? There is. Well, that's not bad. Sure, it's going to take a while to get all the iron for that, but then that's not bad. And I already have all the gold, so I could just go iron to wood, or from wood to iron to gold. And I can use it on this so it won't burn. Alright. Let me go down here and place the lava right here. So that way I know where it is. It's safekeeping, but it also won't, you know, completely destroy the island. So, but now, go back. Grab this water. This block. Upward facing, put that in there. Lever over here, probably like right there. There's a redstone wire leading all the way over there. So that's 8 blocks that I need, at least. Let's go ahead and do that. Do this. This. And sift it off. Get a lot of redstone. So hopefully it'll be kind and give me all of it in. Eight pieces. That might just be enough. Alright. take that out. Alright. Okay. Oh, whoa. Middle click can just sort the entire inventory. That's pretty cool. Give me this. Thank you. Put it there. If I have this, I don't think I have any more cobblestone slabs, but I could just break this cobblestone block to fill in this hole. So now, do that, have all the water, click it, to let it all dissipate. So I can get back here. A lot easier. Alright. Well, that's that thing done. That monstrosity. So now let's go ahead and expand this area back here so that way it can actually be used as a sifting area. So clearly having this stuff over here will not be good for us right now. But what I can do is break this block here. Underneath. Do this. I need a new bucket now, I just realized. Because right now that one's completely covered. And my food is low, so more monsters are appearing. Alright. Yeah, I got plenty of the gold pieces. There we go. I was taking too many tries. 14 pieces. Plenty of them. Alright. So I know I need to make a new bucket, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Get 36 more of this. Press, break it down, and again, and one last time. Even though this is not what I needed at all. Oh. Won't hurt to have some more extra stuff. Now what needed is gravel. My stone hammer, my compressed stone hammer is going to be breaking soon, so that's not good. I need 2 more gravel. And I also need to swap sieves. Oh, and I got another diamond. Funny how it's giving me the achievement for diamonds, but I already have diamonds. Oh, a whole lot of them. Oh, that's gonna... Alright, that's gonna take a while to do, so... for now... I'm just gonna go ahead and move the sieves over. I'm gonna put one here and one here. Though, actually, I don't think I'm gonna be needing that for a while, but I'll keep it there just in case I do need it. And I cannot break the thing underneath this, so that's fine. So there we go, and then gotta throw these two sieves in. Alright. Got a lot more chicken manure. There's a lot of spawn eggs for chickens, so... Chicken breeding. Fried oh my. Yo. That I'm gonna have to look at. Chicken breeding. Store chickens to collect resources and chickens layers use an animal net to place. Placing two wild breed two chickens. This works with modern chickens that allow special breeding mechanics that seem removes feathers and hatchery eggs. Alright, so that's what I need. Nesting. Taking this. I need it. Alright. It is now fully apparent that I need some wheat. So let's go ahead and make a whole bunch of it. So close. So now we need just one more. Yep, one more thing. That, the egg nest. Nesting. Alright. How big is this? Okay, it's only one block. Use animal net to capture a chicken. Alright. Animal net. 3 string, 3 sticks. Okay, that's cheap. gather all the strings in here. It's this, and it's that. Alright. Got this, so if I just grab the chickens and throw them in. Alright, so building multiple of these will allow for multiple chickens. Okay. Now there's other chickens I can craft. Chicken, alright. They do have a lot of eggs, so let's see what some of these make. No. It's a chance to spawn the chicken. It's not a guarantee, but... Alright. Chicken, next drop, minute 10 seconds. I wonder, like, how much can actually end up in there. But at the same time, I should probably build some sort of storage thing, because this is a little ridiculous. Alright. Two double chests, which will only be used to contain items while I figure out what to do. Alright. Two chests. I'm gonna have a couple chests over here to hold all the sifting items. That looks a little dark. Oh, it's not a thunderstorm. Okay. That's good. Remove those into there. Remove all of this. Remove everything that can be gathered from one item into one chest. So I'll go ahead and mark each one with their item frame and their respective drops. If I can. Alright, so I guess for now what I'm going to do is just go. So maybe like those will be extra storage, but actually these two sieves I should replace the chests here for all the sieves. And then I'm going to go gravel, sand, dust. The three things that we gather from this. Sorry about that, that was a cat signing that one of my things looks like a cup decided to hit the floor. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Alright, so this is all the gravel stuff that can be gathered. So I'm gonna have to go through all this stuff and figure out, alright, what can be processed as what. And I think I should probably start emptying out this bottom chest, since that's this side. That's the side that's not getting hit up. Just go ahead and build up. And it will mine back down. Yeah, I know my hunger's getting pretty low, so it's not good. I should have just enough durability on this hammer to get through this part, and I'll go ahead and craft a diamond hammer. The diamond compressed hammer. So no, this is much faster. I mean, this is already faster than using this, but down. That. We have the extra wood on me, so this. Sticks. That. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I need 9. Well, I just made 6 hammers when I needed 9. Oh well. I'll eventually make the diamond hammer. I'll eventually get enough. But until then, just learn from the mistakes. There we go. Alright. Build up 7. Break them down. Build up another 7. Break them down. Go. Build up another 7. And break these guys down. Now I should get a good range of everything that I can get. Not perfect. Not a perfect range, but a good range. Alright. Yeah, I know my food's getting extremely low. So, let's see. I could eat these. Oh, it gives a slight bit of night vision. Oh, the horse has a googly butt. Oh. Alright, so this is what he will now drop forever and ever and ever. Okay. Chest over here just for that. Alright. I go here. Let's see what all the gravel can get me, so that way I can throw it in the chest. At least a good amount of what the gravel can do. Gold, lapis, coal. Those are the 3 that's getting me so far. Sand's next. Sand has given me these 3. Pretty sure this is giving me less. Let's see. Alright, so I'll pretty much never run out of gold again. think it would give me sugar. Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't have a lot of sugar, so that might just be something else. Not 100% certain, but I could be wrong. There it is. This is what. I also gotta mark it between if it's diamond seed or iron seed, because iron seed can also give some good stuff. Go ahead and go through another 3 stacks to see. The iron seed can give, so in that way I have it all marked. Then I gotta build another 21 blocks, then 14, then 7. I've done all the building and breaking that I was needed. For at least this side, and I can move on to sorting out other stuff. Like I can put all like the wood stuff over there, all the saplings and silkworms, wood, leaves, and whatnot. Almost done. Go. Go back up. And go back up. And then once all this is done, then we'll see what we go from there. Maybe I'll build more of the chicken coops. Get more of the chickens out of there. Alright, irons. See on top of it. Iron seed's gonna need all this. I'm gonna move all this stuff down here. Better yet, I can just move it so it's like this. Alright. Compress sand. It's a good chance. All this and along with ancient spores. What could that be used for? I have no idea. Alright, dust. Dust can give me all of these. What's that? Crushed black quartz. Oh, that's the thing to make black quartz. I can make some armor out of this. I can make a lens of the miner. Which I can craft. I wonder what this does. I'll have a chest over here for all the processed ores and special items. So I just need 8 glass as well. I wonder what this does. Lens of the miner. Oh. So. Alright, so I need a diamond, iron, and a gold. coal, nether quartz, lapis. Alright, and it says I also need 8 of the sand, so there we go. Cook that up. What other uses do we have? Item filter, storage crate keeper, basic coil, iron casing, a whole bunch of lamps, tools, quartz seeds, more armor, more tools, block of quartz, pillars, advanced item laser relay, advanced extraordinary sample deliverer, and a ender star. Can be used to make advanced rings and wings of the bats. Okay. And I have a full barrel one. Alright. I wonder what this actually... If this brings me to a world where I can just mine, that would be really cool. Sand chicken? I have a new chicken. I'm gonna go make it a home. I really hope this will be enough. I need 27. 24. Oh. This will not get me all of it, but it'll get me really close. Alright. Well, that's all done. So now let's see what this lens thing is all about. Now, does it have to be in a very specific order? It does, okay. Lens America can create ores out of blocks in its sight. When the laser hits a block, it will convert it to different overworld ores, whereas block and nether will be converted to nether ores. Each operation uses 60,000 RF power. Each operation requires additional power depending on the rarity of the ore that's generated. Okay, so let's see what this does. Block of cobblestone. I'm gonna put it over here. It requires 60,000 RF. I mean, I'm gonna figure this thing out on my own as well. But now I have that. That's pretty cool. Yes. Alright. Oh yeah, this could be used as fertilizer too, so or as bone meal. have a rooster now. And I have one pig. Ooh. I did not mean to ride you. I wanted the stuff in here. I wanted the stuff in here. Alright. New nesting pen. Here. Alright, that would actually let animals escape. It's now really close to being fully grown, so I'm gonna go grab the net, which do not know where I put that. Yeah, I put it in the bonus chest over here. Yep, there it is. Alright. Let's go back. Let's get the chicken. And take some eggs. I can put anything in there. Okay. 2, 1, and alright. It's actually a pretty funny noise. Alright. Oh, come on, look back. Let's see what we got. A stone wand and acacia sap. I do not know what this thing does. Oh! What the? I just made a big chest. Huh. Interesting. I guess. Just throw it in there. Because that's a little outside of my area of expertise. Oh. Alright. And I'm low on hunger again. I wonder, could chicken manure be used as compost material? Don't know. And there's more sheep in here now too. So I might actually go ahead and just kill a few. Alright. What uses do you have? Not a lot. Okay. I'm gonna go cook this up so now I can have some more good food. Must be wearing one piece. I did not realize I accidentally clicked the chiseled armor thing. Oh. Alright. Let's go ahead and make a whole bunch of gravel so now I can get a lot of iron. Since a lot of things are going to require iron. And while I'm digging down, the mutton will be cooking. Once I get to the bottom, we'll be done. Yeah, if something falls, there's a huge land pad. As long as they don't land in water, I'll have all the blocks. Oh. Do 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 do. Bum ba da 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 da. Almost there. Well, when we have all 9 stacks, because if we do, that would be really good. And I'm almost about to break this hammer too. Now, I crafted this hammer like it's literally this stream, but other ones seem to last a very long time. Okay, is that all 9 stacks? Okay. Yep, all 9. Let's go. Let's compress gravel in the iron sieve. Give me the stuff and, well, that I want. And the iron still has a chance for diamonds, so that's also really good. Alright. This could take a while, but I need a lot of iron. Because I want to upgrade that chest we have by the cobblestone generator, so that way I can store more without needing a lot of space. Actually, there's 8 right here already. I'll put this there. Wait, I need 9. It's gold. Ooh. Alright. Can this stuff be used here? Oh yeah, we already did figure that out. That's right. Well, I was looking at what it could be used for. Ah. I can get free sand. Cool. guess I gotta throw this in this sand chest over here. Alright. There's the iron to gold. Now gold to diamond requires 2 diamonds, 6 glass, and a piece. The crystal. Ah. Wait, I think I might need another piece. I gotta do the wood to gold first. Or the wood to iron first. Wait, no, I don't. I still have all the pieces. This. That. Oh, is it not that? Oh yeah, it's this. That. And it's this to get this. And then go over here. Uh-oh, did it on the wrong one. I'm gonna have so much cobblestone. Alright. There we go. And then, boop. So hopefully that will fill all this, although it will take quite a while. And I can also do, literally just grab all that, come over here. And just make a whole bunch of compressed cobblestone, like, really fast. Boom. Now, ultimate test. Does it register? It does. Okay. So this can be really nice. I'm gonna have a lot of free cobblestone. This. I'll just do that. Now we're gonna get that piece of dirt going already. And I'll do that to help that one along. Okay. Now, probably work on the whole chicken coop area. Actually, no, I should still try to fix the chest problem. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab all the ores out of here. Stuff out of here. Put the processed ore away. Here. Just drop it all off in there. First, there we go. Right side. And just move all this over. Don't want that to be there. Alright. New piece of dirt. I have dirt elsewhere. I think it's in this chest over here. No, but I do have a lot of chicken manure. But we'll just throw the dirt into there. %. I'm just gonna place this, break it in, and go. Oh, yeah, that's so close. Can I throw this in there? No. Can I throw this in there? Yes. Alright. Two more dirt for me right there, and I'll have more soon. I could break this. More dirt. Store in here. Grab the cobblestone out of here. This house can stay in there. This. So I know where I can put all this. This cobblestone can just go in here. This stuff can go back up here. I can go down here. And then so chest system back here, and I want 2 trap chests within there. Till then, put all the wood and whatnot into those chests. All my wood stuff, logs, saplings, the what's. And I'll just go over there. And that. I'll have all the wooden stuff in these chests. It's looking a little better. This I know is a gravel drop. But I don't think gravel in these sieves can actually get that. But oh well. Technically this is all wood stuff, so I'll throw it in here as well. What can this even be used for? Not that. It can be used for a lot, but not a whole lot at the same time. Alright. More manure. That. I'll get that. Which I'll just do. Seeds do the same amount as wheat. That's a little bit weird, but alright. Guess I know where to put all my extra seeds that I'm going to be getting from this. I want to build a farm out this way. I don't have anything else scattered around when it comes to the wood stuff. Which is nice. Ooh, got a lot more bones. Can eggs be put in here? Yes, but only for 8%. Well, bone meal. No. So I can turn bone meal into this. which has high yield. And it will actually be better to just put manure into here. Alright. I have 12 dirt. I want to get to 81. Where I build the farm over there. That's done. Okay. Yeah, I only got a little bit of oak left, so not fun, but oh. I actually also wanted to get started on the Tinker's Construct. There's a lot of things I want to get started on. This still shocks me that I can do that. Oh wow, chicken does a lot. Feathers don't do anything. I know I've already tried this. What do mushrooms do? Only 10%. Okay. I don't know why I thought that, to be honest. I thought beans would have gone in there, but oh well. I know, right? Flesh can. For 11%. What the? Oh, the bone white chicken. Alright. I gotta build a new coop. Let's go ahead and get some oak growing. Come on. Okay. I had to look away. So we can make it grow. Of course. I want this, so that way, one, I can get more saplings, and two, I can get silk scraps. Look at that. Alright. So here's the middle, so set there. Actually, I want 81. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go around like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3. Alright, more wood. Alright, I guess I don't need more wood, but I do need more stuff that gets me more wood. Shut all this up. I forgot to light up that area. Alright. Quickly get to the bed. So that way this area over here can stay nice and dark. Or not dark, light. Just long enough for me to go back here and grab a torch. I'm also gonna make a new bucket. Using all the pieces of iron that I have. Yep. Ow. Not mean to stand in the block. Let's go ahead and throw all that in. As well as that. Then we'll go over here. And alright. Now this over here should have at least 3 iron. Perfect. Go up here, fix that. And now we got that going too. And this. And torch. Go around. Place a block on the edge. And then go this way. Whoops. Alright, there we go. So now I just gotta fill up each of those quadrants. A little bit of dirt. On this log, and this is mini tree, but so has been sitting on this log to get all of it. There we go. Got 6 more bones. 7 actually. Where's the wooden hoe? There it is. I just realized I put all the wheat seeds into there, so I don't think there's any left. Well, that was dumb of me. It's fine. I can still get some. Corn kernels. Yeah, there we go. I'm just gonna throw these in the compost. Never mind. They can't throw the old root in. Or the hemp. 58 uses, so it's not gonna survive killing all this, but at least do that. Get those two going. I got one of the bales done already. Which is really cool. You know what? This is 8. It's not a good turnover. This is a better turnover. And do I leave me that compost? As well. I have a lot of gold in here. For some reason. Which was not the point, but still something to point out. I don't know why I had a lot of gold in there. But oh well. I got a little bit more oak to work with now for next time I need it. Instead of having to, you know, rely on solid birch. I'm fine working with birch. I don't mind it. It's actually one of the best ones to actually farm with because it doesn't, you know, grow 50 million ways. Like oak. Or grow super tall like jungle or spruce. Let's go ahead. Do this, then do this. This. And this. And then we go up here and just shred everything apart. See how much of the dirt I'm getting after this. All done. Over half of it. Cut away the other half. In case you're wondering why that was built, this is why. So I can have an easier time getting to here. And the walkways can taste like in this one tree or that, or like this, or I accidentally cut away too much. Alright. There we go. Alright. Let's see, how much did I collect? No, now I gotta save at least 9 of these saplings. I'm also gonna hop down here, because, yep, this is why. Few sometimes slip down here. And when you need 80 bits of dirt, all of it is necessary. Alright. This will get me 8 more blocks, this stack. I already have plenty in here, so I can actually just get rid of all these. So I know this is another 4. This, I think, is another 3. Because I think each one of these is 10. Which is a little sad. Oh well. But it looks like we're getting towards the end of the stream now. So, once all this is nice and done, we'll go ahead and end it. That was only another 3 that that one's able to give me. But this... Alright. No, it's not 8, it's, what, 15 per? So, still gonna take quite a bit, but now I can actually have more land to till this on without losing crops. So I can do all this now. And after that, the crop still has a chance to fall off. I did not complete one. That's annoying. But oh well. Now it's gonna take some time, but I can go back over here. Place these down. And now I can have all this right here. Which is really, really nice. I'll place this block here. Now I have that as well. Alright, well that is just gonna do it for today. So thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you guys also for tuning to the stream. I stream every Tuesday, or not Tuesday, every Thursday that is. I try to stream at start to stream at around 9 to 9:30 PST. So you guys can all tune in and watch me, you know, continue on this. So yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. I will see you all once again later. Goodbye now.